The future was fabulous and fatal the mid-1970s. Cars looked like boats, collars pointed like daggers at the heavens, and youth culture was caught between free love and creeping dread of a world on the brink of collapse. Out came Logan's Run, 1976, a radiant futuristic stage play masquerading as cinema, dazzling domes, leisure without labor, and one little catch. At 30 years old, citizens are zapped by a glowing merry-go-round of death. It was both ridiculous and profound, like staring at a lava lamp while contemplating mortality. Beyond the roller skating extras, plastic surgery spas, and immortal cats lies a minefield of curious trivia. Strap in, crystal hands at the ready. It's time to take a wild run through the weirdest and most wonderful truths about Logan's Run. 1. Plastic surgery by government order. Logan's Run takes place in a society where cosmetic perfection is mandatory. In real life, MGM execs slyly marketed this as aspirational science fiction. Directors later revealed they'd actually been pressured to glamorize cosmetic surgery, tapping into a cultural boom. Strangest detail? The surgical props weren't fakes. They used real medical gear for authenticity, with actors uncomfortably posed under actual operating lights. The future wasn't utopia, it was sweaty. The disco sci-fi connection, that glowing life clock crystal in every palm. The prop department struggled with size. Too small, and it was invisible on camera. Too big, and extras looked like they'd glued Christmas ornaments to their hands. Combined with pulsing under studio lights, the effect created accidental disco ball vibes. Some critics half-joked it was the first disco laser implant film. You could almost imagine Donna Summer wailing while Logan bolted from Sandman. 3. Carousel was purely analog. Mayhem Carousel, the infamous ritual where 30-year-olds renew, red fry, wasn't high-tech. It was pure circus rigging. Actors dangled over 50 feet in harnesses, swinging uncontrolled as industrial fans roared against them. Many fainted, puked, or spun dizzy. Insurance reps visited the set so often production began joking that Carousel had already claimed its first real victims. One reporter wrote, "The on-screen horror was only a slightly dressed-up version of the rehearsals." 4. The Ice Palace was dessert disguised as Doombox. The robot's lair looks like death by icicles. But the shimmering set contained sugar, gelatin, and plaster. Yes, the ice cave was basically a giant candy installation. Crew complained ants swarmed daily, some extra light props melted under heat, and actors returned from set covered in sticky powder. The robot's dialogue about frozen fish, frozen meat has extra menace when you realize he was essentially ruling a donut refrigerator. Francis, almost a rock, God Francis the Sandman was originally conceptualized as beautifully dangerous, and casting directors considered several musicians for the part. Names whispered in archival reports include David Bowie, whose angular stature might have matched perfectly, and Mick Jagger, whose swagger equally terrified MGM accountants. Imagine Jagger chasing Logan. You can't always get renewal, but if you try, you might get carousel. Instead, we got Richard Jordan, whose suave menace is unforgettable even without eyeliner. Jenny Agutter versus the laws of physics. Jessica's floaty green outfit didn't cooperate with nature. Wind machines regularly turned serious dialogue into surprise slapstick as Agutter's costume behaved more like a parachute. Outdoor filming forced production assistants to tackle the problem with tape, pins, and whispered prayers. Agutter laughed it off, remarking later that Jessica was modest, her clothing was not. Logan's Run wasn't just a run for survival, it was a sprint against wardrobe disaster. 7. Dome City Mall. Shop till you drop, at 30. One of Logan's Run's smartest cheats was filming futuristic malls in real Dallas shopping centers. Escalators, Fountains and atriums looked advanced enough. Then just add extras in neon tunics. Regular Texans witnessed scenes while buying jeans. One recalled, "You'd turn a corner at Sears and suddenly there's a Sandman pointing a blaster." It was consumer surrealism, capitalism's temples doubling as visions of humanity's demise. Box. Part robot, part torture device box. The robot was supposed to gleam with metallic menace. Instead, his suit malfunctioned constantly, trapping the human actor inside a sweaty aluminum coffin. The exhaust fans barely worked, and crew members had to pry him out with literal pliers at day's end. By lunch breaks, the operator refused to re-enter until bribed with extra pay and actual ice cream, as legend has it. So yes, Box truly enslaved meat supplies. Farrah Fawcett's spark of stardom. Before she defined an era as one of Charlie's Angels, Farrah Fawcett got her break as Holly, a daft assistant in Logan's Run's cosmetic surgery scenes. On set, she was so nervous during dialogue takes that she often flubbed lines, yet her charisma burned through. After release, audiences remembered Holly's doe-eyed charm, setting the stage for Fawcett's meteoric TV rise. Eternal beauty, unless the crystal fills red. 10. Glitter apocalypse design. Chief Dale Hennessy leaned into shimmer, scattering glitter into fabrics, props, and effects to symbolize manufactured perfection. Nobody predicted that glitter would contaminate cameras, clothing, and even studio offices for years after. MGM secretaries reported seeing stray sparkles on paperwork into the early 1980s. Renewal may end human life at 30, but glitter is truly forever. Why 30, instead of 21? The book's cutoff was age 21, chilling since barely adults died at prime innocence. Hollywood balked, fearing it would alienate audience members who had already crossed that threshold. Better, they said, to push it to 30, still young enough, but within theater-goers' comfort zones. Irony alert. By choosing 30, Logan's Run accidentally invented an early pop culture anxiety about the quarter-life crisis. Generation X and millennials would later thank them. Michael York, or Logan forever. Logan 5 actor. Michael York suffered enduring identity confusion. Fans cheered Logan at airports, restaurants, highways, you name it. During promo tours, he relied on sunglasses to pass unnoticed, joking, "My own crystal would have turned red if I had to say I am not actually Logan 5 one more time." He wasn't cursed, but few sci-fi actors escape permanent merging with their roles. MGM's last hurrah. Before the Star Wars for MGM, Logan's Run represented modern relevance meets box office hope. The movie indeed proved a financial hit, briefly saving the studio's reputation. But cosmic irony struck. Less than a year later, Star Wars redefined sci-fi forever. Logan's dome suddenly looked like styrofoam shoeboxes next to Coruscant. Still, Logan's Run has its niche. The last psychedelic gasp of pre-Lucas science fiction. 14. Cats on strike. Peter Ustinov's old man character tended dozens of house cats that seemed serene on screen. Filming was another story. Cats refused to act, scratching furniture, knocking over microphones, and curling into lighting rigs for warmth. Ustinov, a seasoned eccentric, improvised rhythmic nursery rhymes to calm them. Rumor says one persistent ginger scratched York, forcing makeup teams to cover welts throughout the finale shoot. Feline. Sequels that never renewed, the ending feels designed. To tease continuation, Logan bringing revelation to Dome Society. MGM drafted sequel treatments set in other Dome cities. Some notes include Dome arenas for The Elderly Rebelling Dupes and Violent Domeless Wastelands. Sadly, cancellation arrived with Star Wars dominance. A short-lived TV spin-off limped through one season before collapsing. The dream of renewal stayed in the vault, but Hollywood whispers of modern remakes never die. Extended cultural echoes. The strange longevity of Logan. What makes Logan's run endure? It's partly kitsch, partly earnest. The peculiar combination of big philosophical thought, population, liberty, youth obsession, stitched to polyester tunics. Its warnings remain weirdly timely. Society still obsesses over perpetual youth, cosmetic renewal, and glittering distractions against existential dread. Maybe it's simply that every generation fears its own carousel, even if ours comes not through lasers but through burnout and endless scrolling. Funniest of all, Logan's run is a cinematic oddball that proved weirdness sometimes holds more cultural staying power than slick perfection. People don't just remember Logan and Jessica's flight. They remember the grocery mall sets, the disco crystals, the cat wrangling, the rock stars who maybe could have been Sandmen. It's absurd, glorious, and haunting, just like the best sci-fi should be. Outro. Run toward the glitter at heart. Logan's Run isn't only a movie. It's a prism reflecting the anxieties, dreams, and outright silliness of 1970s futurism. It dared to blend utopia with kitsch, epic destiny with department store escalators. Its weird facts remind us that the path to lasting legacy is rarely sleek. Sometimes true immortality means dangling nauseously from carousel wires while your hand crystal refuses to cooperate. In the end, maybe we all carry a little Logan in us, rebels sprinting through strange malls of history, glitter on our clothes, cats at our heels, seeking freedom outside the dome. And if that's not powerful weirdness worth renewal, nothing is.